Yo, what's up? We're back.
What up? Clark Brothers in the house.
That's right. It's the Clark Brothers, Wes and Hev, back again for another edition of the Breakdown.
Yes, sir. Another edition of the breakdown, and it is called the original plan. Now, you guys
Original
know
plan.
what we're talking about. If you tuned in, to our video last week, we had the original plan of Tasha and Kanan. The reason why we call it the original plan is because this is how it was supposed to be originally. The very first, rollout of this is how it was supposed to be. But due to different circumstances, showrunner, produce whatever, change things up. As we said before, alternate endings are written all the time, 2 and 3 scripts. But this is how it originally was. This week, let them know what we're talking about this week.
So this week, we're going to discuss the original plan with Kanan and Tariq St. Patrick. So there's been a lot of rumors out there. People have already had their conspiracy theories, about Kanan and Tariq's relationship. This was the original plan between their relationship.
Now, it's very important that, again, we kind of take it back to give it some context. If you saw our last video, we let you know that the original plan and the backstory of Tasha and Kanan is that they had a one-night stand. Tasha got into some sort of argument with Ghost. She then went out, how women are, get mad, put a freakum dress on, goes out, happen to end up bumping into Kanan. One thing leads to another. Her and Kanan end up sleeping together.
Right. Go make sure you check that out. It should be connected to this video.
Yeah, we'll put that. We're gonna put the link in the description box for that video just in case you missed it.
If you missed it, go check it out. You'll get all the context of how we get this. And like we said in the first video, you understand where we're getting this information from and why we know certain things a certain ways. One being that we are writers. 2 being that we know writers. There's writers that are in the industry that
has worked
in the universe.
May or may not still be working in the power universe. We're not gonna let y'all know that, but that's what you need to know. That's how we find this information. Like we always said, what's the tagline we used last week?
Facts.
Right.
And common sense.
Yeah, common sense and facts.
Yeah, pretty much. And receipts. That's exactly how we said it. We were saying logic and receipts.
Logic and receipts.
It's all about logic and receipts. That is pretty much where we go to. I mean, because some of these things you could figure out using your logic, but once again, doesn't mean it's going to turn out that's going to be the final cut because these things change. So right out the gate. So we already know. Here's the first fact about it. We already know that rumor of Tariq being Kanan's son has been circulating the internet for years now. Because of the way their relationship started to take a turn. It went from Kanan wanting to use him against Ghost or use him to extort Ghost.
Right.
And Jukebox, right? Kidnapped him and all that stuff. So it went from all of that stuff to all of a sudden now, he's got this sort of admiration for Tariq.
Right. So much admiration to the point where he ended up pretty much picking him over his cousin who he grew up with since a child and who was very close to him. One of the few people that he was still rolling with from back in the day, and one of the few people that he trusted, now in his life. You don't see anyone else around Kanan except Jukebox from Raising Kanan.
Yeah, and we'll double back to that to give a little more context on that. Hopefully, people watching this does watch the show Raising Kanan. If you don't, you should watch it. It'll give you more context on the relationship between Kanan and Jukebox.
Right.
So, but we'll double back to her too because there's a couple of points to be made there. Um, we also know that rumor circulated, which was shut down by showrunner Courtney Kemp.
And
She did put a tweet out there, shutting down someone who was addressing that rumor.
right, because that rumor got hot and heavy. And like I said, I think I I always like to give credit to Wes because when he put that theory out there, it kind of caught on and went viral. And I remember this site, in case you didn't know, took that theory and posted it, and it went viral. You know what I mean? So I believe it got back to Courtney Kemp because I think at that time she was still going ahead with the original plan. It wasn't until people started putting that theory in motion, and then because she has the ability, because she had filmed more than one ending or more than one scenario, she just said, forget it. I'm just going to switch it over.
Right.
But
as you see here
this rumor's been around for a while.
Yeah, here on the screen, I'm just showing you. Here's where Courtney Kemp, someone addressed it. Courtney Kemp addresses it and says, not at all. Tariq and Raina are twins. They are Ghost's kids. Can we stop this rumor now? So
Courtney Kemp. Now Courtney Kemp is right about that tweet. Kanan is not Ghost and Raina's father.
Well,
he was not lying.
Father. Yeah.
She's not the father of both kids. He's not the father of both kids.
No, he's not. So here's the deal, and they say that she said that Raina and Tariq are twins. So that we know. And there's other things that comes up. Trust me, we address everything. There's other things that comes up that pointed to him not being a father. But like I said, that was after they changed the original plan. So let's just get to it. The original plan was for, as we stated last week, Kanan and Tasha were to have the affair.
Right.
And that was part of their original plan. To go even further was Tariq was supposed to be Kanan's son. And the reason why is obviously that's the ultimate revenge by him finding out that Tariq is his son and Ghost being able to, find that out. Even fans were wishing for that. They was like, man, that would be great to have, Tasha have to admit that to Ghost. And like we said before, we know that there's a lot of things, including Courtney Kemp, saying that was not true, that these things were not true. We also want to point out so people don't,
his DNA match Ghost.
Right. We know that DNA
because they changed it to that.
Because they changed it. The DNA for Tariq's DNA matches Ghost in the new revised version of that script. So they put it at the crime scene for Ray Ray or whatever, and Tariq's DNA matches Ghost. So they put that in there to kind of just solidify that Ghost is his father.
See, he's Ghost's son.
Right. That's the reason why she put it in there.
Which was smart. If you're gonna change it, that is smart to do that. So it's no doubt in your mind that that's his son. So just wanted, so that's just another one of the facts that's in there that we've just debunked. So now about the twin thing. We already know they're twins. But in the episode original plan of it, there is a condition, if you want to call it, or a circumstance. It's called heteropaternal superfecundation. Now I know that's a tongue twister, so like that, but what is that? Well, we'll explain it to you right now because you have to know this to know the context. Heteropaternal superfecundation is extremely rare phenomenon that occurs when the second ovum release during the same menstrual cycle is additionally fertilized by the sperm cells of a different man in a separate sexual intercourse. So therefore, in layman's terms, if a woman, and I believe we looked up again, it's between 12 and 48 hours. If a woman can have, we all know that when a woman is ovulating, the eggs are released, right? And I'm gonna give y'all a quick little lesson real quick. And
biology lesson.
right, quick little biology lesson. So within 12 to 48 hours, if that woman was to have sex with two different men, it's possible that two eggs can be fertilized by different sperm cells.
Correct.
Okay, which will still cause the twins to come out. They could look alike, they could look not alike, but they were born, they're still twins because they were born. And we all know fraternal twins means they did not share the same egg in sac, right? Identical means one egg is split into two people, right?
Identical twins cannot have
superfecundation. Yeah, exactly. You cannot have this in identical twins. Fraternal twins, obviously, girl and two different genders have to be fraternal. It's not, they can't be identical. Identical, same gender and everything. It's the same egg. So, so anyway, we have, with that being said, this was something that they wanted to explore. All right, they an original plan. They wanted to explore this phenomenon. And it's funny, it's more common than people think. I think they said it's like 2.4% in humans. That's not a very, very, very low number.
So you're talking every what, 100 fraternal twins?
Yeah,
2% of the time.
Yeah.
What is that?
100.
Right. That's crazy. That's like 1.5 times or 2 times. So that's not something where it's a crazy number.
Yeah. And let's be honest, there's a lot of hoes out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of hoes
out there that that do have sex with different men within 24 to 48 hours. Right. So if they happen to be doing it while they're ovulating, it's very possible that this could happen.
Yeah,
very possible.
And this is what they wanted to. This is what they was trying to explore. Mm-hmm. Now. After and it's not just that people started to figure it out. It was just that it's very controversial. And then as the Tasha character started to evolve and she started to get, need I say, more black women on her side, Courtney Kemp pointed out multiple times that she received a lot of hate mail from black women saying that she was making Tasha's character look bad or what have you. We're going to get into later on down the line, we're going to get into the Angela original plan. But I think that because she received so much male supporting Tasha, I think that may have played. Do you think that may have played a part in it as well? Or do you think it was just that everyone figured it out?
No, I think it's a little bit of a few things. People figuring out, and unfortunately, Courtney Kemp, as brilliant as she is for creating these characters in this world, Courtney Kemp is not, in my opinion, the greatest showrunner in the world because she's really doesn't have thick skin, and she
don't got no poker face.
Right, she has no poker face. When people start, part of following these seasons, we become part of this journey. Part of the journey is trying to figure out the truth or figure out what's going to happen next. So what you do is you supposed to leave the fans to be able to have that fun. It's a series. It's a week by week series. What gives you coming back? That's why they give you the previews. The previews a lot of times are deception, right? They're deceiving. Right. So the bottom line is, when someone calls out something that they think is a rumor, as she called it, or she referred to it in the tweet, she just loses her shit, man, and she goes out and starts addressing these things directly, giving you
why would you address that? Like that's a part of being a good show. You want to tell them, hey, you got a good point. You got to keep watching to find out, though.
Watching to find out.
That's what's going to keep people coming back. If you already tell them, no, that's not the truth, that may have ruined it for a lot of people. Like,
right.
You don't know how many people she turned off by addressing that.
And here's the deal. that's one factor, and also to me tells me that it could be some truth to it, right? That's why she wants to address it and throw you off. Second factor is, like you said, the hate mail she was getting. She was trying to recraft the Tasha character to
Yeah.
kind of make the Tasha character look like, the strong black woman, which the funny thing is she always was kind of like that strong, because she was the side, she
Right.
was a ghost wife and she held
Yeah,
him
she's a
down.
strong black
You
woman.
know what I'm
She's got
saying?
cheated on. A lot of
Yeah,
strong black women get cheated on.
yeah, exactly. So, um, I think she went too overboard. But anyway, I think the final factor is, the whole superfedication phenomenon is a little heavy to drop on people sometimes. You know what I
Right.
mean? There's no insult to the audience, but I don't know, maybe she felt the audience, or maybe they felt the audience wasn't going to receive that
Wasn't gonna
well.
receive it because the power audience is kind of young, and you could tell from the tweets.
Hmm.
Everybody wasn't even considering that. Not one. I didn't read not one person say, "Oh no," but that can happen. That means not one person looked that up. Everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, you're right. They're twins."
Yeah.
So that's the end of that.
Right,
Like
that's the end of that.
nobody had an open mind whatsoever. Not at least from the people that I read.
Yeah, no one had to think out of the box. Like I said, there's been twins like this that's been in the media, that's been in social media, been on talk shows. There was these set of twins. One was black and one was white,
Yeah.
but they were fraternal twins. And this has been in the public. You just look it up. But I think it was, and plus that also leads to the fact that they ended up changing anyway, Tasha and Kanan not having that encounter. So you might as well change this as well,
Right.
because it all of that connects. If you, like we said, if you see our last video, the Tasha Kanan affair leads to, all that stuff was, if they would have went through the original plan, this would have been real heavy, because we already expressed that Tasha and Kanan, it happened, but it was weird because she was intoxicated, or drugged up or whatever. She consented, but at the same time didn't really want. So it's kind of like, that could be considered as forceful, rape or anything like that. So all of these things would have came into play if it would have went to the original plan, which would have been dope to me, because it's real life. People force themselves on women.
Right.
Sometimes women agree. We just saw the Brooke Shields thing where she said, sometimes women agree and because they're scared. They didn't really want to do it. But anyway, all of these heavy topics, I think, all played a part in them changing it. So now we go to some of our logic behind it, right? Okay. First up, Kanan and Tariq's relationship. We know that it first started out as Kanan just trying to get back at Ghost, using that as a way to get back at him the best way he could. We know that Jukebox, Kanan's cousin, they kidnapped Tariq and they wanted to get something out of it. So let's get some money out of this dude. And then you can even get rid of him. That would be the ultimate, like in her way, that's the ultimate way of paying Ghost back.
You break him twice. Once in the pocket, once in the heart. You get Ghost money, kill his kid. You ride off into the sunset. Flawless fucking victory.
Right.
Making him pay and still killing the kid, even though he paid the ransom. So that was the original, that was what they said they wanted to do. And then you saw this relationship between him and Tariq evolving. Now, at this point, he had already killed his son, Sean.
Supposed to be his real son, Sean. He already killed Sean like nothing.
Right. Right. Nothing, exactly. And now he seems to be wanting to, have this relationship with Tariq.
But why are you looking like you about to lift that little nigga in the air like the Lion King or some shit? Don't get attached.
According to the original plan, somewhere in between this time of spending with Tariq, I don't know if somehow he gets because Tariq was leaving DNA samples all over the damn place anyway. But somehow in between, I don't remember how they said it was going to happen. He finds out while they got Tariq, he finds out that it's possible that he could be Tariq's father.
Wasn't built like us. He was weak.
That's why you shot him?
He was disloyal. Maybe if it was different, he'd still be alive. He made me do that shit.
He was your son.
I ain't never had no DNA test. I should have took it. Look, I love the kid. He disappointed me. You more my son than he ever was.
He's doing everything around there. His hair, he's constantly, with him in the car. You know what I mean? So
Tariq was bleeding a couple times around.
Yeah, it's easy to get his DNA sample from what he was doing. But yeah, he finds out there's a possibility that Tariq could be his son.
Right. So this leads up to the scene where Jukebox, where him and Ghost work together. Now he decides he's gonna work with Ghost to save Tariq,
right,
from his cousin.
Now, right. And the funny thing is, people didn't find that suspicious. Like what? Yeah. Like why all of a sudden?
That's suspicious. Well, number one, they didn't know. Now I see in hindsight, because I found it suspicious from the beginning, but we didn't know how close him and his cousin was at that moment. But right. At the same time, she was close enough with him to nurse him back to health.
Yeah, cuz I look crippled to you.
Pitiful's more like it. Like you ain't been eating or some shit.
And again, right. In season 2, in season 3, after after him and Ghost had that fight and he was left for dead, to burn up in that place, he got away and he went to Jukebox. Jukebox was the one that had nursed him back to health.
Right.
So they're close enough for that, but yet by the end of this whole situation, he kills her. So that's one thing. So you got to question that.
Yeah. Second thing is, mind you, people, Kanan throughout the years, right? Of course, he, was going to have doubts about because they were twins, but throughout the years, he thought, you know what, maybe it's a possibility, so because he knows his relationship with Taj, he knows what happened that night, and there's a lot that like people we say to people that was gonna be included but got changed. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and with that being said, in hindsight, now that you know that Raising Kanan is out, which once again, all of this stuff was supposed to connect. You'll be able to see that. We'll do that on a whole nother video, so y'all can understand the whole connection, the original plan for the Power universe. But that's another story. But you'll see now in hindsight, you can see how close Kanan and Jukebox is as characters and as cousins. Right. So now you look back and say, why would he kill his cousin that he basically grew up with, more like a sister that he basically grew up with, over someone else's child? That just doesn't make sense. There's no logic.
I don't give a damn how close you got to him in this little couple of weeks that you had him.
No logic behind that.
None.
Okay, you want more logic? We'll give you more logic. So, that's one of the main thing right there. The fact that he killed his own flesh and blood cousin. That's more like a sister coming up over this. Now, if you remember, and we'll try to get put the clips in, whatever. If you remember, during that scene where he does shoot Jukebox, Jukebox is kind of running off at the mouth, and she's saying certain things.
Because he done told, like I believe Jukebox.
He told her, yeah.
I don't remember whether they had her tell him or whether she, being nosy, found this information out.
She may have found it out. She's a cop, so she can find out certain things. So
tell him why you've been hanging out with him. Why you taught him about that life.
By her rambling on, it seems like Kanan thought that she was going to blurt that out, and because she was doing other things, that's why he said,
"Fucking bitch, running your mouth."
So I believe he kind of got her before because at that point Jukebox was ready. She was saying, "Tell him how you this. Tell him about that. You know, he ain't the dude you think he is. You know, tell him everything. You know." So I believe at that point Jukebox was saying, "Tell them everything." You know, as far as and for him to say, "You're my son."
Like that's the reason why you shot your cousin, because she runs her mouth too much.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, logic. This is why we keep saying logic. There's no logic behind that.
Right. That they're gonna make this because they decided to go this route. At what point are they gonna make this make sense for people to say, "Oh, because Jukebox killed, Jukebox gonna kill Rock"? You see what I mean? It has to be something like that for this to make sense. And even if he did, she must not have killed Rock, or else Kanan would never be dealing with her again.
Right.
He would never be dealing with her again.
It all comes back to the fact that, you know, what we talked about last time, Kanan's obsession with Tasha. Okay. And which is what made him want to spare Tariq and kind of get Tariq to like him, so to speak, before he reveals to him the truth. Make sure that Tariq completely hates Ghost, because you know there was times where Tariq always expressed feelings for Ghost because he still considers Ghost his father, right? As far as he knows, that's his father. So
Kanan did a good job of turning him, you know,
against
hateful feeling towards him, and that's what he had somewhere in his subconscious, like he had in the back of his mind. Maybe if I turn him against him and tell him the truth, maybe me, him, and Tasha could be a family.
Exactly.
Get rid of Ghost, you know, kill Ghost, and me, him, and Tasha can be a family. Like,
and that's, you know, that was something that would have been. I believe if they would have left that in, that would have made the show even a little more interesting. You know, they left a lot of hints alluding to it, but they ultimately decided to go away from it. And just, you know, we don't know the real reason why they decided to change it. But I believe because maybe, like you said, I think the ultimate reason is building up that character for Tasha, you know, so she don't look too, because behind all of this makes Tasha look really bad.
Right.
And in some people's eyes. Some people might look at it for what it was. It was a moment. It was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake with her and Kanan. It happened. Some people may have looked at it like that, but I think other people would have said, "Oh, you know how people are today. Oh, you don't like black women. You know, they've been telling Courtney Kemp you don't like black women, and she's a colorist, and she's only doing this because Tasha's dark skin. You know how these crazy people are."
Yeah.
So Courtney Kemp, I think, ultimately decided she didn't want to go through all that. She was already facing enough with the Ghost, Angela, Tasha dynamic.
Yep.
So she decided to go this route.
Yeah, I'll go this route. And I mean, you know, to me, it would have been fine if they, you know, gave more context. You know, all of this stuff doesn't make sense the way it went down.
You know, I expected a raising Kanan. I expected I expected Kanan and Jukebox to hate each other all through childhood. You know, for him to kill her. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're the closest two things on the show.
Yeah. Like I said, they're more like brother and sister than cousins. Right. She was more like his sister that he never had. So, but you know, that's pretty much the gist of it. If you guys think that you know, this would have played out better,
exactly.
Comment, let us know. I mean, we have more, but it connects to a different story.
Right, and we're going to save that for the next one. And ultimately putting a bow on this is the original plan was that Kanan was going. I believe Kanan still ended up getting killed by Ghost, but I think he when she switched it to him just walking up, that's another thing that didn't make sense. Why wouldn't Ghost just kill him at that point? or shoot him at that point. Oh, well, see you later, little N-word, and walk off into the sunset.
See you around, little nigga.
I got you.
Now it's him, Ghost, and Tariq. So instead of him just killing Tariq or killing Ghost at that point, because that's what he wanted to get back at Ghost, he takes the money, takes the bag, and runs up and says, "See you later, little N-word," and then just runs off into the night. You know, so
no logic.
So my point is what I think what happened originally. I think he told him or was going to tell him that he was the father. That it got revealed that he was the father, and then Ghost, him and Ghost, he ended up killing Ghost. I mean, Ghost ended up killing Kanan.
Yeah,
and then that was another way of Tariq having even more resentment towards Ghost. So either way, it was planning on him having resentment towards Ghost. But this was so you guys let me know down in the comments, what do you think would have been the better way? The way they let it play out, or this way? We have a lot of these plans.
Yeah, a lot of these plans out because
we have Tasha and Monet, Tejada.
Yep.
Their
relationship, their
a lot
original
of good stuff
plan.
planned for everybody.
A lot of good stuff. So stay tuned. We'll put another one out next one. But like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Shame on you if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends, man. And please, we want this to be interactive. Give us your theories. Put them in the comments. That's fine.
Right.
Put your theories and put those theories in the comments and let us know. And we'll get back at you next week on the breakdown.
Breakdowns. The Clark Brothers. Thank everybody for joining us. Peace.
Peace out.